Okay guys, so we're going to start talking more about quadratics today. We're going to be talking about where that X puzzle comes into these types of equations, and we're also going to be looking at how to find these x-intercepts here, okay? These points on our graph, in this case -3, 0, and 2, 0, where it hits the x-axis, okay? Alright, so here's my example. What you do, remember this is A, this is B in front of the X, and this is C, okay? So in this case, A equals 1, B equals 1, and C equals -6, okay? That's your first goal, is be able to identify A, B, and C from our standard form, okay? Remember, A, B, and C are just going to be numbers. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to be able to manipulate this equation into a way that'll show us exactly what these two things are going to be. Like basically just by looking at the equation. Okay, so what we do is I always use my X that you guys saw in your thing, and I'm going to write A times C at the top, and I'm going to put B at the bottom. Okay, B was just 1. A times C is 1 times -6. Alright? For a lot of these, A is just going to be equal to 1, so you're basically just going to be writing C in there. Alright? And then you want to do just like you did before. Figure out two numbers that multiply to the top and add to the bottom. Okay? Remember, if you can't remember all the factors, just start dividing. Okay? Here we see this is negative, so I know that one of my numbers has to be negative. This 1 is positive, so that tells me that my bigger number has to be positive. So the factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. And like I said, my bigger number must be negative. Here I see -5. When I add those together, here I see, oops, my bigger number needs to be positive. So that's a +5 and a +1. These are the two numbers that I need. -2 and 3. This X is just an organization tool. What we're going to do with these numbers is put them into what we call binomials, which just means that it's parentheses with two numbers in there. Okay? So -2 is going to be X minus 2. And here we see a +3. So our other binomial is going to be X plus 3. We've done it. However, you may notice something weird here. I have X minus 2, but I have a +2. And I have X plus 3, but I have a -3 as my x-intercepts. Why is that? Well, you can see that for each one of my x-intercepts, it's where it equals 0, okay? And remember, this is basically the equation where it equals y, right? And here we see y is equal to 0. So if I take these equations and I set them equal to 0, I can figure them out. And it's actually not too hard to do. Because notice, these are being multiplied together. Okay? If x minus 2 equals 0, anything times 0 equals 0. If x plus 3 equals 0, then if I multiply x minus 2 times 0, I still get 0. Okay? So what we do is we just take each equation and set it equal to 0. Here I add 2 to both sides. We get x equals 2. Just like this. Here I put x plus 3 equals 0. I get x equals -3. Again, just like this. Okay? So that is the link between those x puzzles that you guys did yesterday and these x-intercepts in our quadratic function. So what you guys are going to be looking at today is you're going to be looking at equations written in that factored form, and identifying the x-intercepts. Okay? When it asks what the x-intercepts are, look for these little gray points on the x-axis and click them, and they'll highlight and stay up for you, so you can basically answer what are the x-intercepts. You don't have to write 3, 0. You could just write 3 and, in this case, -1. And then look at the equation and the x-intercepts. What do you notice? It's just like I did on the whiteboard there. Okay? You'll notice that 3 is positive even though it's minus. 1 is negative even though it's plus. Okay? As you go through these, you're going to be looking at the same sort of thing. What are the x-intercepts? What do you notice the trend? And then eventually, you're going to get to these equations, where you're going to see 2 stars. Okay? And they're going to want you to create an equation. Y equals. Use your parentheses, and you're just going to want to make the opposite of what you have here. So here you see I have -1. So I'm going to put +1 instead of -1. And here I have a +4. So I'm going to put x -4 instead. And if you've gotten it right, you can click launch, and you'll see these little guys hit the stars for you. Okay? You're going to continue to go through this, answering all the questions, and doing a few of these different puzzles. Okay? Again, if you guys have any questions today while working on this, send me an email. I will try to get back to you about it as soon as I can. Alright guys, good luck.